Yes. Good morning. Let us continue with the next point, not next point, rather the point which we started yesterday. So yesterday we started with something called as a flask, and I hope you must have gotten an idea about how to use that flask or where to use the flask. So probably if you can recall the diagram which I mentioned yesterday, that diagram will tell you like what is a use case where the flask can be used or why flask is required. What do you mean by something called as a REST APIs or REST web services? So till yesterday, we were doing simple, very simple examples where we were trying to just show something to the user. So today we are going to go ahead and we are going to try getting the input from user, and we'll try sending the details to the database. So this is what we are going to try today. And for this, I'm going to need MamPro as usual because I need to store the data in my database. So let me start my database here. Just give me a sec. Okay, it started. Very good. Okay, so let us see what exactly we can do here. So I'm just going to give you a simple idea like what we can finish today. So it will give you a kind of an overview or the big picture what we are supposed to finish. I'm thinking about to create a login page, a registration page, and maybe a simple home page where we will have a couple of links like about or maybe something like the portfolio or contact us or something like this. This is going to be home page. And one more where we can display kind of a simple chart. The chart which will be based on some static values, but not necessarily that those are the static values. You can change that dynamically later just by getting the data from database. So probably this is what I'm thinking about. Let me just try to put the name there so you will get what exactly we are going to start with. This is home.html. So please forgive me if I'm going to be a little bit faster today because this application is a little bit bigger. So I want to finish it before we call it a day. Okay. So this is I'm sorry, not home.html. This is login and sign up. Let me just say sign up.html. There'll be a few things I know you might not be aware about. That's why I'm saying like just copy and paste the code. Don't worry about writing it right now. You can do the practice later and then you can write the code along with, on your own. So just finish the application along with me. So you'll get a complete feel like we are going to start from scratch and probably we are going to finish a complete application there. So this is going to be a chat. That's it. Okay, so chat, home, HTML, sign up and sign in. So this is something that we are going to use in our application. So maybe this is where my first page will be signing. So user will be able to sign in if user wants to, and then if user wants to go for sign up, maybe a simple sign up, maybe username, password, and all of these things will be required. Maybe like what I said earlier is like about, for example, let's say contact us, for example, or portfolio, for example, and so on and so forth. All these links or help, for example, all these links will be there in the home page. We are going to create a simple dummy pages for them for now. Later on, you can replace them with the real pages. Important thing is not the pages and not the UI and other thing. The important thing is the concept. So this is how we are going to finish this entire application here. So let us say these are all menus which will be there right here, and probably clicking on them will show different pages out there. So that is what we are going to finish today. Maybe chat. I'm planning to go for a simple, a simple chat, a simple line chat, or maybe we can show both the chats here. Like one will be a line chat and one will be a pie chart. So you will get an idea like how the charts will be added right here. This is a kind of a pie chart probably, and this is a kind of a line chart. So line chart and pie chart. So it will give you an idea like how to integrate that data right inside your application and how we can take an advantage of Python being the language and using these kind of packages which will help you to create the entire application as simple as that. Okay. Are we going to create session? No, we can't. We are not going to create any session or other stuff. That is going to be a little bit advanced and we don't have that foundation for entire web development. That's the reason. Okay, I'm restricting myself not to create a session at this time. Okay, so probably this is what we are going to finish today. This is what I'm planning to finish. I'm not sure whether we will, but at least that's what I'm planning to finish today. Okay. Now to finish this application, we need a database, and database I think we already have created, but we need a different table. Let me see if I have a table with me. If I don't have a table, I hope last time we created a user table, but I'm not sure whether it's still there or did I delete that or if it's still Not if it is still not there, then we can create one quickly. So mamp library bin, for me it's mysql minus u, root minus p, root use persons db, and let me see how many tables do I have. Great, I have a person table here. So if I say describe person, probably I'll get the name and field and other things. Very good. So I do have name, address, age, and email. I think it's better we can add one more column. So I'll say alter table, add column, password, because this is the one which we need here to store the password, right? For login, we need a username and password, or email and password. I think you are not having it, right? What should I do? Okay, let's drop this table and let's create it again. So drop table person, as simple as that. And let's create the table one more time. So I'm going to say create table. I'll paste it on your chat so it will be easy for you to have the same structure like mine. So create table person, or maybe instead of saying person, I'll say user, better. ID, which is integer, primary key, auto increment, don't forget that, auto increment. Next, username. I'll simply say name. It can be the first name, for last name, whatever you can say. If you want, you can separate it out. Let's say first name. That's varchar. I think 100 characters are more than sufficient. Need the last name as well. Let's say varchar. Sorry, varchar. Next, what do I need? First name, last name. Let's say email for login, of course. Varchar. 100 characters too much, but it's okay. And finally the password. So password will be again varchar, and probably this is going to be 100 again. It's too much, but it's okay. I think it's better we can just go for only 20 characters long password maximum, and that's it, I guess. That's it. It's more than sufficient. So this is the table I'm going to use for this demo, so it will be easy for us to just finish this application quickly. So this is the table user, and we will ask user to sign up. And if user already has signed up, then we can ask user to sign in to enter our website. So this is what we are going to finish today. Now, probably my database is the same, persons DB, and under persons DB, we have a kind of the table ready now. So let us see how we can take an advantage of this table, how we can start writing the code, and how we can finish it off. Now to do this, probably I'm going to start creating a server first, because if you can recall what we create inside our application, or inside our maybe using Python by using a Flask package, is nothing but a server. So instead of calling it as a page one, I'm going to call it as a server, because server is the one which is going to simply start giving me all the routes, like slash person slash something something something, as those routes which will be configured here in this program or in this file server.py. Okay. Now, I hope you can recall here that when we want to go to different pages, or if you want to get the different data from different tables, then we end up having different URLs. So let us configure some URL here. So for me, and for these pages, I'm going to configure different URLs. Like if I want to reach that sign in page, I'm going to use a sign in URL. So whenever I see user is sending me a request with /sign in as a URL, then I'll probably go to the sign in page. So this is what I'm planning here. So I need different routes. So this is the route for me. This is /sign in somewhere here. There is a /sign up. So whenever the URL will contain sign in, it will go to sign in page. Whenever URL will contain the sign up, it will go to sign up page. Maybe if I want to go back here to home, this is going to be the home page. And probably this is going to be the chat page, the chat section. This is how we are going to do the job. So hopefully you see how we are kind of laying out all the components, all the pages, all the different sections of our application. So this is how we are going to start adding the code, or adding the functionality in our application step by step. Okay. So now I've decided to go with this kind of say routes. We will first set up our server, and then we'll start adding the placeholder there. So stay with me. Let's see how it can be done. To do this, again, we are going to start with from Flask. Again, we'll have to say import Flask. This is the package, and this is the class. If you can recall, yesterday we started talking about something called as a JSONify. So I'll use the JSONify as it is, so that will be easy for me to use it. Maybe we need something like, Okay, let's use it when is needed. So right now it's not needed, so I'm not going to add anything other than Flask. So probably right now I'll have to create an object of this Flask. So I'll say app equals to Flask. We generally pass something like dunder name property here. So this is where we are creating a server. So creating a server, or rather create a server better. And once the server is created, we'll have to ask server to listen on a particular post. So start server on port. Which port you decide. Maybe I'll use the port number 4000, for example. So here I'm going to say app.run, and here we are going to say host is equals to, we already have said that last time, 0.0.0.0 comma port number, we want to change it to 4000. Just to make my life simple, I'm going to pass debug equals to true. It will be easy for us to automatically refresh the page instead of we do it manually. Sometimes we forget to do that, and that's the reason why it's simple for us to start using something like this. It's very simple. Okay, now what? Probably here I want to go back and start talking about how to use this application, how to start using this application from one page to another page. So basically I need a kind of a signing page, or I need a kind of a dummy page just to start using this application. So it will be like I want user to continuously, I want my user to use sign in page first, and then if your signing is successful, then only I'll go back to the home page here, which means right here, I'll have to configure those routes, and those routes, we will have to decide which one of them will be the startup one. So for me, the startup one is /signin. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write those functions first. So this is going to be something like a get sign-in. I'm using the get here just as a prefix so that it will be easy for me to remember that this is a get method, get function. So this is the get sign-in, which is going to do nothing but a sign-in. For now, I'm just going to write it like this: sign in. We know that the sign-in is associated with /sign-in. So we'll have to map it off by saying app.route. We did that yesterday, so this is nothing new to you. /sign-in, and then we have to say the methods. Methods equals to, probably we are going to set it to a get method, something like this. No, so it will be easy for me to remember that, oh, sign in is the get method we have configured here, and whenever user hits sign in, we are going to return the sign in's HTML page. Okay. If not working with localhost, do we need to provide the port number for the real server? Yes, Vipin will talk about this once we are done with the entire application and when we go to deploy this application on the actual server. Okay. For the time being, or for the testing purpose, we are going to use port number 4000. But once we are done with the development and once we want to deploy it on the server, we definitely will use port number 80. Okay, I'll show you how to change this and how to configure it later once we move this application to the server. Okay, so for now, I think sign in is the page. Sign in is a kind of a dummy text. We are sending it here. I need a couple of more routes. So I'm going to simply copy and paste. It will be easy for me to do it in this case. Okay. Yes, Shripati, we'll do it. No worries. So this is the sign in, and then there is a sign up. So probably I'll just say that this is the sign up. This is the sign up. So I'll just lay out all the different routes here, so that I will not forget them. So this is the sign in. This is the one. Then there is a /home. So probably I'll just go back here and say /home. I'll say home. Finally, we need something like a chat. Something like a get chat. And this is the chat. Okay, I need a couple of more. I think we need about us and contact us as well. So we have to have some options there, something like about us, and I'm sorry, we need to change this one as well. About us, and finally, contact us. I'm not going to add the whole help, or if you want really, you can just go ahead and add that, contact us. So maybe we can ask user to send some data so that we can contact that user. So this is going to be contact us, as simple as that. And let's do it. That's the last one. So maybe there's something called as a help, so that if user wants some help, we can send that help from there. That's it. This is the one we can start writing the code here. So probably, as you see here, there are many different pages we are going to design, and believe me, it's going to be really simple. The only thing is there are quite a few navigations from this file to another file, or from just use a kind of a map here so that you can understand where we are going to get that page from, and so on and so forth. So we'll see, we'll figure it out. So this is what we have kind of decided, and I'm kind of done with mapping all the routes. So whenever I want to display a page in my application, I'll have to create a route, and this is a route for sign in, this is the route for sign up, this is the route for home, so on and so forth. Now first, let me run my application, because we already have started that application with debug equals to true. So probably we can start this application and we can forget that for now. Okay. So probably I'm going to go back here, because it's a website, not only a kind of REST service. So this is going to provide both actually. So this is not only a REST web service, but also it is going to provide me the UI. So probably I can open my browser and say localhost 4000. That's it. Right now it is not showing anything. You know why it is not showing anything? It's not showing anything because we don't have anything for slash. But nevertheless, we have other stuff at least. So if I go for sign in, sorry, my bad, there is a spelling mistake. So there is a sign in, it will say sign in. If I say sign up, it will show sign up. If I say home, it will show me a home. If I go back something like maybe about us, it will tell me that there is a string called as about us, contact us, so on and so forth, and help. So hopefully my routes are already configured, you know. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come back here. Let me fix this one, because when user is going to visit the website, user is not going to add any slash or any path there, because user will not know what to pass in the URL. So that's the reason why we have to literally fix this problem first, and then we'll have to think about other. What are you saying, Preeti? How to stop and return? Server is already running. To stop the server, you will have to literally stop running this application. So probably because this application is running, your server is running. If you don't want this right now, so you can simply say stop and your server will be stopped. You know? So right now this is not going to work. But if you want that server to run continuously, which we have to run, because unless it starts running continuously, we'll not be able to do anything there. Okay. So it's just stopping that server and coming back to the page checking. We don't have to do it again because we already have started debugging equals to true. So that's an advantage of having debug equals to true. Okay. Okay, so now it seems like I'll have to fix this problem first. And to fix this problem, I'm going to come back here and say def, what is it? Let's say get root or get root. Root is nothing but the slash. And again, this is a kind of convention and not the compulsion. You know, you can use anything there, but conventionally we call it as a root. So app.route, this is slash, and then the methods as usual will be kind of a get. So now if I go back to the URL, earlier it wasn't working, but this time it is going to tell me something like a root. So it's telling me like there is something called as a root which now exists and which is returning a root at the moment. Fine, I'm okay with it. Now what? Now we have to start thinking about how to design the UI, because this is not only the REST APIs we are going to create using a Flask, but also we want to go for a small website demonstration, you know. So that's the reason why we are designing this page. So how do I do it then? I'm thinking about maybe having something like a welcome page here. So probably I'll say /h1/h1 welcome to my application, something like this. So probably if I say refresh, I'll see that welcome to my application works fine. Maybe I want to add one link for a sign-in page. So to do this, I'm going to use an anchor tag. I'm not expecting all of you to know all of these things, and it's not necessary for you to write right now to do all of these things. Just copy and paste the code and see how the things can be done. So probably here I'm going to say href, and I know this is going to be http://localhost:4000/sign-in. So basically, if I want my user to sign in, so I'll provide a link by using anchor tag, and this link will be given right here, you know, sign in. So if I click on sign in, it will go back to sign in page. So that is working. I mean, the navigation is working. Now like this, we'll have to provide all the other options as well. I mean, it's not only the sign in, we'll have to go for sign up, we'll have to go for something like a home, or maybe about us, contact us, and so on and so forth. Hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. So basically there are many pages, and if I start writing code like this, it becomes very difficult for me to add HTML code, because you see how difficult it is. It's not auto completing. Maybe if I forget something and that's the reason why it is not working, I will not be able to debug that application, I will not be able to test, or I will not be able to understand where it is going wrong. So instead of doing all of this stuff, let me just cut this string out. When cut the HTML out of it and say, see, whenever you are thinking about website using Flask, then probably write the Python code in py file and write the HTML code in HTML file. It makes sense. So we want to separate these two words. Right now, if I look at the one which I was writing right last time, it's a kind of mixture. See the Python code and HTML code, they are kind of mixed together, and that's the reason it becomes a little bit difficult for us to manage the code. So what I'm saying here is, if you want to manage this code in a better way, separate these codes. In a sense, separate Python from HTML. So I can write the Python code here, and then if I want to write the HTML code, see what I'm going to do here. I'm going to create a new directory inside the current directory. The name has to be templates. So don't create a Python package, create a directory, and create a directory with the name templates. It has to be the name, because it would not understand anything other than that. So create a directory called as templates and create a new HTML page. You see that there is an option here, HTML page. You create an HTML page with whatever name you want to create. I will say something like root or index, because that makes more sense. Index.html. So here we are creating an index page, and probably I'll say this is going to be my application or my store or whatever you can think of it. This is my e-commerce application or whatever it is. So I'm creating a page here. Please look at this, look at the path here. I've created a directory called as templates, and right inside this templates, I've created a file index.html. By default, it gave me a starting point, something like this. I just tried to fill the gap. So here I put the title, which will be displayed in the tab, and whatever I just used the last time, I'm going to put this right here. So whatever code you were writing inside one single string, now you can easily write that code here, because this makes a lot of sense. So probably I can come back here and I can say, see, it automatically completes it. So say P for paragraph, and say tab, it automatically completes the tab. I'll say this is a demo application for learning Python Flask and matplotlib together. Whatever, you just put your description here. And now whenever user hits this slash, so if I want to go back here right now, I'm sorry, not this one, slash, or if user doesn't use any URL here, I want to see that page here. Right now it's not working. Right now it's not working because if you look at the server, if user comes here, we are not returning anything. Now I want to return this page, the page named index.html. So how do I do this? Say index.html. Wait a second. I know this is not going to be the case, but just to start with, I'm telling you that this is where I'm going to say is index.html. Let's see what happens now. So I'm going to come back here and refresh. Do you see something? It's just telling me that index.html. It's not giving me the actual page here. I mean, of course, this is not the case. We are going to write here, but now you are getting the idea. Like I've created a separate page here. The page name is something like index.html, and I want to display that page right when user comes to this particular URL. So how do I do this? To do this, probably not only the path actually, but also there are a few things which are a little bit different here. So see how it can be done. To do this, from the Flask, we are going to import one more. It's called as a render template. So render template is the function that we are importing from the Flask. So this render template will get a template named index.html from the templates directory, and will send it off. So I'll just put a comment for you. Say get the file named index.html from templates directory. So that is important. That's the reason why we have created a directory there. It understands only one directory, that's a templates. So this is the templates directory from where it is going to read the file named index.html, and whatever the contents of that files are, those contents will be sent when someone goes to this particular URL. So let me just come back and say refresh. And what do you see? Oh, look at that. It shows welcome to my application. It shows this is the demo application, and probably it also gives me an option to sign in. So if I click on sign in, it goes back to sign in and stuff works. Last time it was just telling me index.html, but now it shows me the contents of index.html, which makes a lot of sense, you know. So this is the way we generally will write the code or generally will navigate between the pages. So very simple. Create a directory called as a templates. Right inside this directory, say index.html is my page, the one which I wanted to use. And probably whenever you want to send this index.html to the user, you just have to go back here and say render template. So this is how we are going to put the name of index.html here, and we are going to send the contents of that index.html there. Okay, so this is how we are going to create a website. So this is a kind of a step which we are going to repeat continuously. So we did this for index. We are going to do the same thing for index, sign up, sign in, about, home, so on and so forth. This is how we are going to create the entire application. I hope you can see how simple is that. Now I need an input from you. How many of you have ever heard about something called as a bootstrap? There are 80 people. Let me see the majority. How many have you heard about bootstrap before? Because if you have heard about bootstrap, I want to include here a bootstrap code, because unless I include a bootstrap, it will be looking like a website developed in 1998. We are here in 2020. So it doesn't make any sense to design a website like this, you know, it looks worst. Okay, so many of you already have heard about it. Those who haven't heard about that, you may do it later, but today you might just see what exactly what exactly it is all about. And if you think it is complicated, just copy and paste the code for today, because web development is not what we are looking for. We are kind of assuming that you know web development. I'm telling you like how to do the web development in Python. Okay, so Python part is important. HTML part you can learn on your own, or if you already are knowing it, well and good. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to the website called as Get Bootstrap. So this is where I'll download the Bootstrap code. So under Get Bootstrap website, if you just scroll down somewhere here, I'm going to use a Bootstrap CDN. Instead of downloading it and putting it on my machine, I'm going to say Bootstrap CDN, and probably this is the one that I'm supposed to use. So let's copy this link. CSS only. I don't care about the JS and other thing. If you want, you can get that as well, but not necessary. So I'm just going to use this one link, and then I'm going to come back to my index.html, and probably I'll put this right here. So now we are using Bootstrap 4.5, whatever is the latest version of 4 at this time. It's 4.5.2. I can see that right here. And this is what we are using. See, please share a case study or assignment done for Python website development if you have. That's what we are doing it, Ketan, here. So we are developing a simple website, so you will get an idea about how we can develop a simple login and sign up based application. You know, that's what we are doing here. Okay. So probably now if I go back to my website, say this was my original output, which was using a font called as Times New Roman, which is really looking pathetic, I know. But now if I look at, if I say refresh, you see, now it started showing me way better font and way better font. And this particular website, this particular framework, it's not Python, but it's a HTML and CSS framework and JavaScript framework precisely. It can allow me to have a nice and better user interface, and of course responsive website as well. You don't have to necessarily understand every single thing. Just copy paste the code for now, and then we can, I mean, you can do it on your own later if you don't know what Bootstrap is. But anyways, those who know, they can understand what exactly is going here. So probably we started using a Bootstrap, and this is the clear indication of what is happening here. So probably I said that this is a kind of a website. Now it's changing its font. Everything is looking a little bit better than last time. So I'm happy with it. Now, most of the times I've observed that people generally are using the website, which is having, you know, the content centrally aligned. You see, there is a data, there is some space on the left-hand side, there's some space on the right-hand side. And probably this is the standard these days. I mean, if it is a standard, then why don't we also use it? Believe me, it's very simple. All we have to do here is inside my body, we are going to create a div. The div will have a class called as container, and whatever we have done so far, the contents we have added so far, you just have to put those contents right inside this div, something like this. So you need to create a div with the class called as container, and probably put all your contents inside that div. And probably if I say refresh, everything will come in a central position, something like this. Wow, looks nice. At least better than last time. So that's what I'm looking for. That's great. So if I'm looking for a kind of a simple application, it's telling me that welcome to application, happy with it. It's giving me an option to sign in, very good. Now when I click on sign in, I want to go back to the sign in page. So how do we do it now? Same story, you know. So I'll have to go back here, and instead of sending a sign in string, I want to create a new page called as a sign in. So probably I'm going to create a new HTML page called as a sign in, not sing in, sign in. And in this sign in, I'll say sign in. In this sign in, I'll do the same thing again. I'll say div, which is going to create a class with something called as a container. Right inside this, I want to design a very simple page. So probably I'll just go back here and say h1 sign in, not sing in. I sign in. That's it. So probably if I say refresh, it still is showing me it as a sign in. Actually, this is wrong, you know. So how do I fix it? To fix it, I'll have to go back to the server.py, and instead of returning sign in here like this, I'll have to return sign in.html. But you know what? If you want to return the contents of that HTML, we have to call that function called as render template, and then we can pass that sign in there. So probably if I say refresh, now it started showing me the sign in here. Well, looks like it started working here. Index file is not update in utility. Not getting you. What do you mean? What do you mean by that, Vipin? If it is, if the index file is not updating automatically, that simply means you did not pass debug equals to true. Stop your server, start with the debug equals to true, and then you will see automatically it is going to update. Okay. So if it is not updating, that simply means the debugging is not turned on. Anyways, so seems like the things are working fine. But you know what? It's showing me the sign in, but it's not coming in center, and also it is not having a kind of index file is not updating utility. No, in the code sharing utility, are you sure about that? I think it should. Others, can you just please confirm whether you are able to see the updated code in code sharing utility available, right? So probably Vipin, I think it's better you can just, okay, it's done, fine. Maybe the network log, it's okay. Maybe the network lag or network latency is the problem. Okay, so now the things are looking okay, but you know what? That's what I'm saying. Like it's not coming in center, like what the maybe the root page was talking about, and even the font is still older, Times New Roman. I hate this font. I want to use that bootstrap again. So use the bootstrap again. I'm going to copy this part here. So this is the part, and I'll put this right here again. As simple as that, you know. That's the same story. I'm going to do it for all the pages. So probably if I just go back now and say refresh, you see the sign in comes here. Things are looking really great. Now, because sign in is here, I want actually I want to put that sign in the middle of the page, which will look a little bit better. So I'm going to add a simple style here for H1, and I'll say, hey, H1 should have a text align to center. That's it. So this is going to make my H1 look center, something like this. Also, it's better we can have some margin on top. Maybe I'll say 40 pixel, and let's say margin on bottom should be around 40 pixels. So just adding some gap in between so that it will be a little bit better. And I'm going to copy this for every single template there. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. Fine. So I want to design a simple sign in page here. So when I say sign in, I think it's better we can just get input from user for email and the password. So how do we do that? Now we decided to use Bootstrap, and if I want to use Bootstrap, you can find all the information right here. So if you go back to the examples page, you will go back to the documentation page, and there are different options, there are different contents Bootstrap already provides. So if you click on components, you can see there are different options here. If I click on the buttons, I can get all the buttons code from here. It's just a copy and paste job. There is nothing other than that. If you click on the form, I want to create a form something like this, which is having an email address, the password. I'm not sure, I'm not going to implement this one, but I need a submit button, a passwords field, a emails field, and that's it. This is what I'm going to do. How do I do that? Say this here. There is a form, fine. There is a div class form group and stuff like this. So let's come back here and let's start designing it. It's going to be very simple. So I'm going to say form now. Action, we'll talk about this in a second. Now we'll come back and say, hey, I want to design this UI by using something called as a div. So I'll say div with a class called as form-group. Now, because I'm in something called as PyCharm, and PyCharm is given by something like a JetBrains. I only mentioned that this is given by a company called as a JetBrains. Did I mention that? Here it is. So this is given by JetBrains, and JetBrains is a very famous company designing different IDs for different jobs. For example, they have a PyCharm from Python. They have Lion for C and C++ development. They have WebStorm for website development. There is a PHP Storm for PHP development, and so on and so forth. Most of their IDs support the web development, and in their IDs, this is a kind of a facility. If I want to create a class, if I want to create an element called as div with a class called as a form group, I'll use this syntax like div.form group, and if I say tab, it automatically converts it into a div having a class form group. This is generally called as a Zen coding. So this Zen coding is available with many of the editors. I mean, you can do it here, you can do it in Visual Studio Code, you can do it in Visual Studio, and there are a bunch of other editors where this kind of style is preferred. That will save ton of your time. You don't have to literally say div class equals to blah blah blah. You can directly say div dot, and it will automatically expand this with the with the class attribute there. So that's a kind of an advantage we are going to get here. Anyways, so I need a form group here. Under that, there is a label. The label is going to tell me that this is the email, which will display an email there, which we are going to receive an input from user by using input dot form dash control. Okay, so this is how we are going to get it. The text is equals to email because user is going to enter an email there. I need, let's say, a name. The name will be something like an email with which we are going to send the details to the user, to my page. Something similar, I need one more time for password. So I'll say this is the password to the password for the user. The name is equals to password and the type is equals to password. Okay. Maybe if I just go back and try to see how does it look like, I think it will look better. Something like email, password looks way better. And you know what, if I just click on that, it automatically kind of gives me the highlighted border. The things are looking really nice. That's the reason we have started using the Bootstrap there in the first place. Anyways, things are looking great. I need a button for sign in and I need a button for sign up. So there are two buttons I would need here. So I'm going to say div, let's say again, use the form group here. Right inside this, I need a button. I'm going to use a style called as, or a class called as a BTN and BTN-success. These classes are given by Bootstrap. I'll say submit or login or sign in better. And I need one more button. I'll say sign up. Maybe I'll just use a style called as BTN-warning. So one will be in green, another one will be a kind of orange, this one. To be precise, I want that sign up to be on the right hand side. So it will look better. I mean, it will have a balance here. So probably if I want to go back and move that to the sign up button on the right hand side, I'll say, hey, just float it to the right side. So if I say float right, you see now that looks fantastic. So there is a sign in page, there is a sign in button, there is a sign up button. So basically sign up button is the one with which we want to send a request to something else. To be precise, I don't want this to be a button, because if it is a button, then I'll have to write the code for it, which I don't want to. So what I'm going to do here is, instead of using this, I'm going to make it an anchor tag, and this anchor tag will have href, which is equals to, this http / localhost 3000 or 4000 / a sign up. So we already have created a sign up route there. So I'm just going to say that a href blah blah blah. So it will look like a button, but internally this is an anchor tag. So if you click on that sign up, probably it should go back. Was it a sign up or sing up? I think there is a mistake from my side. It's a sign up. That's correct. Was it typo? Let me check. 40,000. Are you kidding me? There is a 4,000. Sorry, it's my bad. So let's come back here and say sign up. Okay, it stopped, I guess. That's the server actually. So let me save these changes and make sure that the server is running. So probably if I just go back to my run, is server running? Yes, it's running right now. So let me say refresh. I forgot to say refresh. It happens. Now, if I click on sign up, it goes to the 4,000 sign up. So it goes to the sign up page. Of course, it is not showing anything just because we do not have any design for it. We can design the same thing in the same fashion for sign up page as well. I'm simply going to copy this code for sign in, or maybe if you go back here and literally Control C and Control V the sign in page, and if you change it to sign up, probably your so many efforts will be saved. So this is going to be a sign up page. I'll change this to the sign up page, and you know what? I need use email and the password along with the first name and the last name. So what I'm going to do here is just add two more stuff, like two more fields, like the first name, which is going to be a first name, or first underscore name, or first dash name, doesn't matter. This is the text input we are going to expect from user. And there is a last name, so this is going to be again a text input, and the type, I'm sorry, this is going to be the last name, last underscore name, and the type is equals to text. That's it. So first name, last name, email, and the password. That's what we are expecting from user. This is going to be the sign in page, sign up page, and this is going to be the sign in page if user already has an account. So probably user can go back and sign into that page. So let's see if this works. Oh, it's not working. It's not working because we'll have to go back to the server.py, and from sign up page, instead of just sending it like this, we want to call that function. Function name is render template, and we can pass that signup.html there. So if I just go back and say refresh, you see the sign up page looks fantastic. If I click on sign in, it will go back to the sign in page. If I don't have any account, I can click on sign up and I can get the information from the user. And if I click on sign up, it should save the user's data into a table, and probably it should give me a kind of redirection to sign in page. That's what we are thinking about. Let us see how it can be done. Now to do this, I'm going to come back here, and probably I'll have to go for sign in. But when you say sign in, I want to get the input from user. So how do I get the input? To get the input from user, we already are using a form. So what we are going to say here is, when user clicks on that sign up button, or maybe the sign in button, I think we have to go for the sign up first. So let's come back here in the sign up page. When user is going to click on that sign up, this is maybe instead of using a button, I'll use that input as a type equals to submit. Nothing is going to change. The UI will still say same. UI is still going to say stay same. It's not the sign up here. We need it's the value, which is equals to sign up. So the UI is going to stay same. This is how the button will be laid out. But this is not a button. This is rather a submit input. Whenever you click on that, the entire form will be submitted. Submitted where? I want to submit it to http://localhost:4000. So this is where I want to send all the details with a sign in. So basically I want to send the data to the sign in page there. But while sending it, I know that's a crucial information. I don't want to send it by using something called as a method get. I hope you can still recall we had a discussion yesterday. Whenever you want to create a record, it's always better to send it by using a method equals to post. So to do this, I'm going to say the method is equals to post. So the data will be sent to sign in page, but not by using method get, but by using method post. Okay. So if it is the method post, let us see how we can get that data into my method post here. Now the sign in, which I mentioned here, this will work for only method is equals to get. When I use this one here, it is going to use the method equals to post. Sorry, it is going to use the method equals to post. That means it is not going to work with this particular mapping. If I try to, so if I say refresh and if I click on sign up, it says method is not allowed. Method is not allowed because we have configured it for get, and from signup.html page, we are sending it to the post. And that is a needed thing. It's not like we have done any kind of mistake here. A post is where we want to get the input from user and we'll insert that to the database. That's what we are going to do. But you know what, if you want to do this, we'll have to configure one more route. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create one more route for sign in and sign up. This is going to be a post to sign in. Post means the method post. Sorry, my bad. So method post. What we want to do here, we'll decide that later. But this is where we are going to get the input from user, and this is where we are going to let's say insert that data, or maybe check that data against the database. So this is going to be a post to sign up. So this is where we will get the data from user. So how do I get the data from user? To get the data from user, I'm going to come back here and say let's say print. I want to get the user's input. To get the user's input, we have to get the data which is received from user. I hope you still can recall the diagram which I have shown you yesterday, where when you write the URL and when you press enter, browser was creating a request object, and then it was getting sent to the server. The server was receiving the request and server was sending back the response. If it is the case, if I'm a server, see, this application itself is a server, which means server is going to receive something from the user in terms of a request. So come back here on line number 1, and along with the JSONify, render template, and Flask, import one more stuff called as a request. So this request is an object which will give you all the information that you are looking for. So probably here we can say request.form. Request.form will tell you whatever user has, whatever input user has sent to you. Let's say that works. There are two things here. One is a request.form, and there's one more, something called as a request.ask. So I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to show you both of them. Let's see which one is giving us the data. Ask. And this is kind of a form. So request.form. Let us see what happens now. So coming back here, let's say refresh. I'm going to insert the data. Let's say user1, whatever. User1 at the rate test.com. The password is test. And when I say sign up, nothing works here. It is giving me a sign-in code here. That's okay. I don't care about that right now. But I do care about what is happening behind the scene. So let me come back to the run and see whether we are getting the data here. So if I go back, it's going to the sign in, I guess. Let's see, what did I do? Oh, it's my bad. It should be a sign up, not the sign in. Sorry, it's my bad. It should have gone to the sign up to get the input from user. I accidentally have mentioned that it's a sign up page, sign in page. So it's my bad. Let's refresh and try using one more time. So I'll say test user email address is this, and the password is equals to test. And if I say sign up, nothing is going to work. It's okay. But if I look at my output, if I look at my the terminal here, I got an input here. We are not getting it in terms of arguments. Arguments will be received when you are using the query string parameters. I'm telling you that right here, so that if you are planning to get the data from user in terms of a query string parameters, you have to read the data from ARGS. But right now we are getting the data from form. So that's the reason this is the form which is giving me. You see here, this is a kind of square bracket where we are having the first name test in terms of a tuple. Then there is a last name test. Then there is an email user1@test.com, and the password is equals to this. So now if you are with me, you are able to get the input from user. That's what we were looking for, you know. So there are two things here in the right now here. One is called as a request.args. I'll just put one simple comment for you. Used when the data is received using query string parameters. You know, I mentioned what query string parameters are yesterday. So this is the this is request.args, which will be valid. Right now it's an empty dictionary. You can see that it's an empty dictionary right now. So what you see here, it's an empty right now because it's kind of giving me data with data. It's not giving me any data right now because we are not sending or we are not receiving the data from client or from my user in terms of query string parameters. We are receiving the data in terms of form parameters because we are using a form here, and that's the reason why we have to use a form here. I'm showing you both the things here. So if you plan to have a query string, you have to use ARGS. If you plan to have a form, then you can use the form there. So this is where it is used when the data is received using form element or form tag. So this is the one which is going to give me the actual data, you know. So how do I get the data? How do I read all the input from user? So I'll say the first name. What has user entered there? I don't know. I'll just check this here by saying request.form.get. I think we are expecting a first underscore name. You see here, I'm getting something like a first name. So this is the key I'm using here to get the value for it. Next is the last name. It's a variable I'm creating to read the data from form to get the value of last underscore name. Please make sure that you are using exactly same keys which you already have mentioned inside your HTML page, or you can see them right here as well. Okay, I need an email. So email is equals to request.form.get an email. And finally, what is the password? I don't know. I'll just get it from request by saying request.form.get, and this is the password. These are all keys we have configured in HTML page, and we are using them right here, you know. So this is how we are going to do it. So now we have got first name, last name, email, and the password. There is no point of printing them here. This is just for your understanding. Now, if you are having all of this stuff here, I think it's better we can create a query by using all these parameters. Maybe I can say insert into the user, where we want to insert the first name, last name, email, and the password. Values are like this: 1, 2, 3, and 4. So here I want to get the values. This should be a formatted string. So here we can get the value for first name. Here we can get the value for last name. Here we can get the value for email. And finally, here we can get the value of password. That's it. This is what the query is. But in order to insert some data by using this query, we have to again start importing mysql.connector. So this is where we are going to get the connector. We are going to open the connection and we are going to do the stuff like it. So it's going to be very simple. All we already have discussed earlier. Now, what I'm going to do here is, instead of writing that code again and again, because I'm damn sure that I'm going to need this connection and all that stuff in multiple different scenarios. So instead of this, I'm going to create a separate class out of it. So I'm going to create this as a database class. Again, you can have any class or any method there. I'm using a database class here. We already have seen a class earlier, so we are going to take advantage of it. So I'm going to say this is the database class. I know whenever I'm going to create an object of it, let me put a kind of a description saying this is used for communicating with DB, MySQL DB precisely. So this is how we are going to do it. I know whenever the object of this class gets created, it is going to call its initializer method. So I'm going to go back here and say initializer. We're not going to get anything from the input parameter, but here we are going to create a connection object. So here what we are saying is SQL connector, so that whatever is going to be done with the MySQL, we are going to do it here, so that we don't have to import it again and again and write that same piece of code again and again. So this is where I'm going to write the code. I'll create a connection. I'm going to create this as a private connection so that no one else will be able to modify this or access it. This is the private member. We already have talked about all of these things here. So now we are going to say mysql.connector.connect, where we are going to say the host is equals to localhost. What else? Let's say the user is going to be the root. Password is going to be the root for me, for you. You decide which one you are using there. Next one is the database. I think database we are using here as the persons DB. That's it. So we are going to do that right here. So it will be easy for me, just to create a connection here, and we can use that connection all the time I need it. So probably this is what I'm looking for. Now inside this, I'm going to create, let's say 2 methods. One is to execute a query. I'll say execute query, which is going to give me a query parameter, as a parameter, and then we can say self.connection.cursor. The cursor is what we are going to use for getting the cursor. So this is a cursor object, you can say, which is going to be used for executing the query. Execute that query, and then don't forget to commit it. So execute and then connection, say self__connection dot something like commit. So this is the one which is used for, let me mention this here, used for executing the queries of type 1. Let me mention here queries of type 1, something like a insert, then something like update, and something like a delete. All of these will require you to have the connection commit, because unless the changes are committed, you will not be able to see them written into the database. So that is required. Okay. So probably when you talk about something like execute query, this is only for insert, update, and delete, which is not going to return any result. But I'm going to write a very I'm going to write a separate method here for a select method. So I'm going to say select query. This is for getting the data from out of the database, because this is where we have to get the data, cursor.fetch all, and we'll have to return that result. That's the reason I'm making these two functionalities separately. So that's a select query. The things will be a little bit simpler like this. The query is the parameter that we want to execute, and probably we are going to get the result by saying result equals to cursor.fetch all, and we have to return that result. So to return that result, we are writing a code like this. So probably I'll put a comment here saying used for select queries. That's it. Select queries, and select queries we are treating little bit separately because we are expecting data out of it. That's the reason, you know. So that's how we are going to do it. Fine, we have a database ready. Let's come back to the server and let us use this right here. I hope database is the name. Actually, I made a mistake, a little bit mistake. I should have gone for database D small because generally, you remember I mentioned that if the class name is database, then the file name should be database with D small and the class name should be database with D capital. So how do I use it? Again, I'm going to say from database import database. Import database is the class name. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's okay. From database, import database. That's okay. So this is how we are going to do it for you know, just getting one simple class out of it. So that's it. Whenever I want to perform an operation, let's say I want to perform a sign up operation. So I have the query here. To execute this query, we need a database object, or maybe you can create a database object directly here by saying db is equals to database. And then whenever the object is there with you, so probably I'll say used for performing all the db functions or db queries. Okay, so as simple as that. And then if I want to execute any query anywhere in the code, so probably I'll just go back here and say db.execute query, and then we can pass the query here. That's it. So this is how we will execute the query. This is the insert query, and for that we already have a method called as execute query. If we are saving the user details, then it makes sense to send the user to the sign in page because user details are stored. So we can ask user, hey, go ahead and sign in now. So that's what we are doing here. No module named a database. No module named a database. Okay, if that is the case, then I can rename it and see if it works. So sometimes, you know, it makes a little bit difficult to work with this. Let me just go back and say, this is database operations or my database, for example, better. I'm sorry, my or me. What the hell? Here it is. Okay, so it's my database, for example, and I'm going to say, hey, from my database, it's in a template. Oh, that's why I was wondering why the hell it's not coming. Yes, thanks for reminding me, guys. I was so stupid. Now, sometimes it creates a issue with the database word as well. Database is also there in the MySQL, so sometimes it makes a little bit conflict there. So it's okay. Now we already have seen that it's my DB. It's okay. My database. From that we are going to import the database. Perfectly okay. So probably things are looking okay. Maybe I can just come back here and say whether it's good doing the job. To do this, we'll have to come back and first check. Select star from user. There is no user. Now we are going to get the data, you know. So probably what I'm going to do here is I'll go back to the main URL. Why? Are you kidding me? Oh, last time it stopped. Sorry, my bad. Let's start again. Data server started. Let's refresh. Welcome to my application. I'm going to say sign up. I don't have any user, so I'm going to click on sign up here. I'm going to create a new user right now. So user1 is the first name, last name. user1@test.com is the email, and the password is test. I'm going to say sign up. Oh, it's going to the sign in case, but has it really created a new row? I don't know. Let's check this out. So when I say select star from user, wow, look at that. I got the input from user1@test.com, and the password is test. And now I have created a new table, a new row in that table. So the things are working fine. I don't know how many of you are getting this, but now this is the first time I asked my user to register to sign up. And yes, user has registered with all the required data there. So user registration is complete. Let's register one more user. Let's say this is going to be my user2 user2@test.com. Password is test. And if I say sign up, you see my second user also got registered. What's the proof? Here is the proof. You see, now we have 2 users registered here. So that's it. This is what we were looking for. So probably if I'm looking for something like this, now let's continue with the sign in and see if we can ask user to sign in and if user can sign in without having any problem. So how do we do this? To do this, the query should be something like this. Select star from user. user is going to enter email. So I'll say if where the email is equals to, if user one is going to sign in, user one is going to pass email equals to user1@test.com and the password is equals to test. If both username and password or the email and the password work, I mean, if both of them matches, then I will be able to get the user's record. But if something is not matching, so probably if I use this query here and say, hey, I think user has entered the password as test2, you will see the empty set. Empty set simply means user does not exist. So just to check if user can authenticate or not, I can use the query to enter or to check whether the user exists on the basis of email and the password. If user exists, we'll get the record. If user does not exist, we'll not get the record. As simple as that. So this is the query that I have to execute. Let me just copy this query for now. And let us go back to the sign in page. Sign in the sense, the post sign up. Post sign in is where we are going to get username, email and the password. We already have seen how to get the input from user. So for this, I'm going to say request.form.get. I'm going to get it from email and the password, which is equals to request.form.get and the password. See, I got the email and the password. Now what? Create the query, as simple as that, you know. So this is the query. I'll create it as a formatted string. And I think this is where I want to get the input from user, which is email. And this is where we'll have to get the input from user, that is a password. If you're wondering, how do I know that this is email and this is password? It's just because in my signin.html, we have used name equals to email and the name equals to password. So these two we are using right here, you know. So this is the email and this is the password. So both of them we are using here. That's it. Now, once we are having a query, you know how to execute that. To execute this query, all we are going to say here is like result, which is equals to probably first we'll have to say db.execute query, or sorry, select query, and we'll pass that query. And this is going to give me the actual result. So probably I'm executing that query and getting the result. Now, do you remember last time? It is going to return a list of tuples. And again, if user exists, then I'll get list of tuples or valid list of tuples. Or if user does not exist, then probably we'll get an empty list of tuples. So to check this out, I'm going to say if len of result, which is equals to 0, means user does not exist. So here user does not exist. And else, if there is at least one user, or there is if at least one record, that means user exists. User does exist, you know. So if user does not exist, then probably I want to show a message saying, hey, there is no user with that name. So probably what I'm going to do here is probably I should say return, and I'll say user does not exist. Kind of this. Actually, I don't want to, but it's okay. User does not exist is what I want to print somewhere. Maybe I'll just say print something like user does not exist. And then I'll return again the same thing, signin.html, you know. So better if user is not there, then we can force user to sign in again. But if user exists, then that simply means we want to go to the home page. Remember what I said in my diagram here? I said if the sign in is there and sign in works, then we want to go back to the home.html. So that's how we are doing it. Sign up is where we are getting the user's input. We already have inserted it in database. In sign in, we are checking whether the user's input or user's email and password matches. And if the data matches, that simply means we'll allow user to pass to the home page. So that's how we are going to do the job. No? Okay, can we ask user to upload MP4? We can, but not at this moment. I mean, there are many things which is possible. And as I said earlier, this is not the course where we are looking for a complete web development with Python, because for that, it will take another couple of weeks. It's not hours job. It's kind of weeks job. There are many things when you're talking about this. Then, okay. So I'm just giving you a kind of introduction to this. If you want to pursue a career here, you will have to learn on your own. Okay. Or maybe if you are having any questions, you can talk to me separately. I'll definitely talk about that separately. Okay. Okay, so where does it get stored? Just a hint, the data will get stored on the server, wherever you want to get it stored. Probably you can create a new directory here. maybe something like a data, something like images, something like videos, and so on and so forth. And you can get the data from user, and you can get the input from user. Okay, just for your information. So probably if you just go back to something like a Flask and say, hey, upload file, upload a simple file. So you will definitely get a documentation there, which will give you a nice documentation and nice input, nice code as well. See, this is where we are doing it. Upload folder will decide where we want to upload this, different type of files which are allowed. And all we have to do here is, this is the upload file. This is the route we are going to use for get and post. And here we are checking if the file is there in, if it is not there, we are returning an error. But if the file is there, we are simply saving this file to a particular path. That's it. It's a hardly couple of lines of code. So if you know the foundation, if you know the basic things, you can learn all of these things on your own. So Tanya, this is the page you are looking for. Just copy paste the code and it will work for you. Okay. Yes. Vipin, yes, I will. I mean, I love the web development, so I would be interested in that. But let's see how many of you are interested. We'll talk about that. Okay. Anyway, so coming back here, let me see where we are right now. So we are forcing user to sign in if user account does not exist. And probably here, if user exists, then we are passing user details, or maybe we are allowing user to go to the home page. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to enter user1@test.com password. I'm entering not test, but user1, which is invalid password. So if I say sign in, oh, sorry, did I send it to sign up? No, I did actually. Oh, sorry, my bad. I copy pasted the code, right? I hope so. So coming back here, exactly. So we'll have to say http://localhost:4000/sign-in. I think I forgot to mention this, where to send the data. And we have to also say what type of method, HTTP method that we are supposed to use. So the method is equals to post. So now it will send the data to our sign-in page. So coming back here in the sign-in page, let's say refresh. Yes, I do want to refresh. Not sign up actually, I should say sign in. This is where we want to sign in. And probably here we are going to say user1. I'm entering the wrong password, user1. The right password is test. So if I say sign in, nothing happens. It is just forcing user to pass the input, or forcing user to go for this particular error or this particular page, so that user have to enter the correct name and the password. So now I'm going to enter the correct name, user1@test.com, password is test. Watch what happens. When I say sign in, it goes back to something like a home. But you know that home does not exist. It's not the problem from application side. It's a problem from my side, because we do not have any home.html file inside my templates directory. See here, I'm getting an error, render template home.html. It says the file does not exist. The template is not found there. So if the template does not exist, not a big deal. You know how to do that. So all I have to do here is go to templates and then create a new HTML file named home, so that's the home directory. So this is where, again, I'm going to talk about the my store. And this is again a div where we'll have a class called as container. And here we will say, welcome to my store, whatever it is. You decide what you want to put there, and so on and so forth. So whatever you want to put there, you can just put it there. Naturally, we have to also get the same bootstrap code. So maybe I'm going to get this code here. I'll put that right here inside this, and we are done. So last time it wasn't working because the home.html wasn't there. Let me say refresh. Please go ahead and see, now it is showing me the welcome to my store page. This is where we are in the home page. That's it. This is where we are in the home page, and that's what we were looking for. Now, like last time, I'm going to come back here. I'll put one style for our, just to make my life a little bit simpler. I'll say H1, and probably right inside this H1, I'll say the text align like last time. Text align as center, as a center. I'll put a margin of top, let's say 40 pixel, 50 pixel, whatever you decide, margin, and say margin of bottom, which is 50 pixel, 40 pixel, it doesn't matter. It just depends on you. So this is how we want to do it. Yeah, please. So go ahead and see this. This is welcome to my store. Very nice. Now rest, what needs to be done. So probably all I need to do here is I just need to go back here and start adding the code. So probably right here we will say something like about us, maybe something like contact us, and so on and so forth. Why URL is hard coded? Right now it's hard coded, but we have a different option there. We will see how it can be modified later. Okay, so let's just wait for some time. I'll show you how it can be modified. Of course, that is going to be really difficult. So we'll think about it when we go to the deployment phase. Okay, so Rohit, you will see how it can be done. Next, which you're talking about, I'm too vendor want to have a course in Python for web development. Sure, we'll talk about it, Vijay. Not a big deal. Okay, so what I'm thinking here is we have to have those three options there, you know. So probably I'm going to go back to my Bootstrap, and right there you will search for a kind of a navbar. The navbar will look like this, something like a navbar homepage and blah 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 blah, you know. So what I'm going to do here is I'll simply copy this first part of it. Not necessary that you have to copy every single thing there. So maybe I'll put it right there inside this one. Just copy and paste the code for now, and just match up and see what exactly we have copied, and whether it is matching with the last part of it. So this is where we are going to end it. This is where we are going to end it. And this is where we are going to end it. That's it. That looks fantastic. You can copy and paste the code right now. So probably this one here. And it's not an app bar. Actually, this is my store precisely. This is not the home, or maybe if you want, you can go for the home as well. Doesn't matter. So actually speaking, this is where we want to go to http://localhost:4000/home. This is where we want to go to. If I say home, maybe active, I don't care about that right now. So I need three options here, you know. One is for home. That's what we decided last time. The second one, I want to go back to the other one. Sorry, the other one, what the hell? Leave it. So this is the other one. This is something like about us. That's what we decided last time, I guess. And the last one is the contact us. So there is one more actually. So there is a contact us, and the last one is help. So this is what we were thinking about. So this is a kind of a help, you know, as simple as that. Maybe I'll just let me align this properly. I hate the code which is not aligned. This is again the effect of Python, you know. So Python forced me to write the code in well documented, well indented fashion. So that's the reason I always write the code in this fashion. Anyways, so this is how it is going to be. Maybe we are having about us, contact us, help, and something like a home. So if I come back, if I say refresh, it's fine. Do you see that? It's kind of now having the menus on the top. So there is a my store, there is a home, there is a about us, there is a contact us, there is a web, and so on and so forth. Maybe you see how simple is that. Vipin, it seems like your Flask is not available in the current code or in the current environment. So install Flask first. Yes, install Flask first. Okay, so now we see the menu is coming up. That perfectly is what I was looking for. But if you really want, you can have some more configurations here. If I don't want to go for BG light, I'm going to go for BG dark. So that will look better for me. You see something like this. But if I do that, I'll have to change a whole lot of other things. So probably it's okay. Let's not do it. I don't want to waste your and my time just to, you know, make this a little bit smoother. I think that is also a nice experience. We have my store, we have home, we have about us, we have contact us, and we have help. Let's see how it can be done. So thinking about this, I came to a conclusion that, you know, we have the home, we don't have any about us. So I'll change this to about us. I'll change this to contact us, and I'll change this to something like a help, you know, as simple as that. So probably if I just go back and now try to refresh it, you will see that, yeah. So here I am clicking on home, it goes to the home. It's something which is different, but it's okay. If I click on about, it goes to about, I should have gone to the proper about us, proper contact us, and proper help, but it's okay. We know how to do this, how to fix this problem. So all we have to do here is we have to create 3 more pages. One is the contact us. Next one is something like a, what's that? Maybe about us. And the lastly, this is the help. Oh, sorry. There should be a, my bad. Let me delete this one. There should be a HTML file. So this is going to be about us. This is going to be HTML page. And this is going to be the last one, that is a help.html. So right now, I'll just simply mention that help. You know what needs to be done. I'm not going to write the code anything here in these files. So if you are looking for implementing this, just go ahead and implement on your own. You know what needs to be done. All we have to write here is the HTML code, you know. So that's going to be very simple for you. Just copy and paste the code as per your requirement. So instead of wasting our time there, let me just say this is about us for now. I'll simply say H1 and then say contact us for now. And finally, help for now. So this is going to be help. That's it. So probably I'll have to come back to my server, and without forget, we'll have to change this stuff as well. So here we'll have to say render template, home.html, sorry, home.html. Here we don't have any chat.html, but anyways, I'll create one, chat.html. Here we'll say this is going to be about us. Here we'll say contact us, and finally here we'll say something like help.html. That's it. Now this makes sense. To be very precise, you know what, I'll have to come back and we'll have to copy the entire design here, because every screen I want to create a every screen should have a menu there, you know. So this is going to be welcome to my store. This is going to be home page for your understanding. So that I'm going to copy this entire code. We'll put that in about us.html. Isn't there any better way to write the code instead of copy pasting? Yes, there is. We can create a master template and we can create the child templates as well. But right now, I'm not going to waste your and my time to do all of this stuff here. So better we can just fix it quickly. And then if time permits, then I'll show you what is a better way to do that. Otherwise, you can do that on your own. I mean, basic part will work, but it's not looking good because we are literally copy pasting the code a lot of time, which is not making any sense, you know. So probably we can fix that by using master and child templates. What is this? This is a help page, something like this. Okay. We need one more. I forgot to include that one here. So let's create a HTML page named chat.html. And probably here also, we are going to say chat, and we'll put the chat here. See, we'll see how it can be done. So probably if I now go back and say refresh, I hope you see home is working, about us is working. What the hell? Oh, my bad. It's like there is a spelling mistake. I was in hurry. ABOUT, that's correct. Now let's go back, say refresh. About us, it's coming back here. Contact us coming here. Help coming here. And home, about us, this. Look at that. So you see, all of them are working fine. Of course, my story is not going to work right now because there is nothing to go back here. If you really want, you can fix it to go back to the home page there. Nothing to be worried about, but things like this are working fine. Okay, makes sense, isn't it? So we are almost done with it. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to literally change that. Someone was looking for having a kind of hard-coded HTML, hard-coded URL, which is making a trouble, or which is kind of not it's not good to have it there. So how do we do this then? I mean, should I or should I not? That's the question actually. I wanted to show you this, but okay. So let's see how it can be done. To do something like this, we'll have to get the, I mean, I'm going to create a server.py, a variable here, which is kind of a local host, which is kind of a URL. So this is kind of a server URL. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say that this is the server URL. Maybe I'll create a separate variable and I'll put the URL here. So this is going to be localhost :4000. So that's the URL I want to configure here. Now, why am I doing this? I'm doing this because, you know, I need this URL all the places. So wherever I need this, I'm going to use this URL and I'll pass it to the HTML pages. Oh, can we pass input from Python page to HTML page? Yes, we can. You know, right now, the shortcut here is, I mean, not every time you're going to need the, you're not going to need the entire URL. You can directly use the relative URL as well. So for example, here we don't need this. Here we don't need this. You can simply, you know, just write this about us and it will automatically work for you. So probably this is going to be again contact us and it will work for you. So you don't have to literally pass the entire URL. So this is about us, right? So let's come back to the about us. And if you say about us, you see everything is working fine. So not necessary that you have to have the complete URL all the time. So probably whenever you are using this complete URL, you can skip it and you can use the relative URL as well. But there are few occasions where we have to pass the complete URL. One of the occasions is where we want to use the images. So let's see how it can be done. I've not talked about images yet. I will talk about them in a minute, because anyways, we have to create a chat page. We have to use a nice chat there. And if I want to use a nice chat, then I have no option but to, use this particular strategy. Let's see how it can be done. So probably I'm using a, here it is, last one. I'm using the relative URLs. We don't have to go for entire URL. Whatever we are going to have here, like contact us or about us and stuff like that, that will be added anyways after you are in, after your current URL. So we don't have to go for the hard-coded URL there. It was just a copy pasting I was doing last time. So that's the reason it must have happened like this. There is the last one. There is one more, and probably the last one. It's okay, fine. We are kind of done. And this is the last one. Yes, we are kind of done with this. So I'm creating a separate variable there. For now, I'm not using it, but whenever I need this, I'm just going to pass that input to the HTML page. How do we do this? We'll talk about that. Oh, didn't you remember something? I needed to add the login button, log out button as well, because unless there is something to log out, we'll not be able to log out and will not be able to log in back, So there has to be something called as a login. Now we'll talk about this, but okay. I didn't want to, but I'm not able to stop myself from talking about it, because what happens here is sometimes it becomes very difficult to write the code like this. You see, almost all the times we are copy pasting the code, isn't it? I mean, think about this: the home.html, help.html, contactors.html, chat.html, and about.html. All of them are having exactly same piece of code, except the last H1 here. So it becomes very difficult to copy paste the code, and you see how many times I replaced it, how many times I modified that. So it doesn't look good to me, at least. So what I'm going to do here is, I didn't want to show you, but just give me a sec. I'll show you an example here first. So it will be easy for you to see where you can see the document. So probably I'm going to say that something like Flask. This is something like a block content, or simply the block, maybe this one or this one. This is what we are going to do now. So not this one, but okay, here it is. So this is what we are going to do now. This is what the block is made for. The block is the one where we can create a kind of a template, and that template can be shared across all the different files. How do I do this? To do this, instead of creating all of these files individually, guys, please confirm. Are you all there with me? Hello? Yeah, at least a couple of you are saying yes. Very good. So if you're all with me, let me create a separate file. Now this is where I'm going to call it as a master template file, or simply a master file. Whatever code I wanted to write, let's say the home page code, I'm going to just literally going to cut it out. I'm going to cut this out, cut this code from home.html, and I'm adding this code into the master.html. So this is what we are going to do here. So I've added that code here. I don't want to see this here. So I'll simply say, this is the master.html where we are adding the code. Rest of the files, chat.html, I'm making it empty. Contactors.html, I'm making it empty. Help.html, it's already empty. And home.html is already empty. So probably help is there. So delete it out. So there is nothing in the home.html. There is nothing in help.html. There is nothing in contact. There is nothing in chat. There is nothing in about. There is nothing in about us as well. So there is nothing in those pages. So if I click any of this page, you will see a complete empty page here. Now, why empty page? Empty page because now we have removed every single thing from there. But then how would I share that code? Because now I moved the common code inside the master block. So how do I share the code then? To share the code here, we are going to use this block called as something called as a block, and that block can be used as a base template, or generally called as a master template, and we can use it inside the child template by using this particular strategy. So just look at this, how it can be done. So I'm saying, let's say home.html page is an extension of something like a master page. So write this is called as the server-sided scripting. So here we are going to say curly bracket %%, which is going to get extended from master.html. So whatever code is there in the master.html, I'm asking Python to add it here. So this is the syntax with which you see the syntax right here. So this is the syntax with which we are saying extend this page home.html by using master.html. See what happens. I'm going to go back to my URL, and this is the URL home. I'm going to simply say refresh, and magically everything starts appearing here. Exactly. It's exactly like inheritance example we have seen earlier in Python. So this page is now inheriting from master.html, meaning whatever is there in the master of HTML, it will be copied here. It's not like you are going to do it. Everything will be done by Python. So maybe if I click on help, nothing is working right now. Nothing is working because help.html is literally an empty page right now. Again, we can fix it quickly by saying %% and right inside this, we are going to say extends what? Master.html. That's it. See, my help also started working. Contact us and about us, both of them are empty right now. So let's fix them quickly. This is chat.html and this is contact us.html. You see, everything is working now. So probably if I just go back to home, about, contact us and help, all of these pages are showing the exact same output. Do you see that? Now we don't have to worry about copy pasting the code. It's like just write code only once somewhere in the file like master.html. You can have any name there, it doesn't matter. And then probably using this template, we can create some other pages like help, contact us, chat, and about us, and including the home as well. All of them are derived from master.html. But you know what? All of them look similar. I mean, if I click on home or about us or contact us or help, all of them look similar. And because they are looking similar, I'm a little bit confused. Like which page is, let's say home, which page is about us and other stuff there. So what I'm thinking here is right after the master, I want to have that H1 tag. But if I have the H1 tag here, like if I was having something like it here, then it will appear in all the pages. Again, it will confuse me a lot. So what I know here is like, this is not the H1 tag I want to include. I want to add a placeholder here, which will be filled by all of these pages. This is exactly like method overriding we have seen in Python. How do I do this? This can be done by using something called as a code block. This is called as a block and give it a name. So probably I'll say this is the block, maybe I'll say code. Or maybe I can say whatever, UI. You decide, this is the name of it. And then simply say end block, a UI, that's it. So here we are creating a block and here we are creating an end block. Whatever is there inside this block in other pages, other in a sense, all those, let's say derived pages, they can write the code in between these two. Let me show you what exactly happens here. If I say refresh right now, nothing happens. I mean, all of these pages are still empty. This code block will do nothing. This code block is a kind of placeholder. Think about this as the method given by my base class. And now I'm going to go back to my derived classes like home.html. This is my derived pages like derived class. And there I want to implement or override this method with the same name. So in Python, we use the same name for that method. Here, we just have to copy paste that block and write whatever you want to write here. So probably this is home.html. See what happens here. I'm adding home.html here, home. So here I'm adding something like what is this? This is help. So I'm saying this is the help. Coming back in contactors.html and writing something like a contactors. It's like exactly overriding in terms of Python, nothing different than that. This is a chart. And finally, this is about us. So this is going to be about us. Guess what? If I click on home, you will see home. If I click on about us, about us. If you click on contact us, contact us. If you click on help, help. See how simple is that? We have reused the entire code there, and we have reused the entire code just because we didn't want to duplicate it and create a big mess. That's the reason why we have decided to go for a very simple option, very simple example to reuse the code, so that it will be easy for me just to use it only once and control the entire user interface for all the files. So this is called the master.html. If you modify this structure here, it will be reflected in all the pages out there. Guys, do you understand? All of you? Are you there? Are you able to understand what I'm saying here? Very good. That's wonderful. So this is how we can create the code block, and this is how we want to just reuse some code. Actually, I was not planning to include this here, but anyways, we have came for so long, so it's better we can just add the last functionality, because that makes your life a little bit simpler. And I know that makes a lot, not little bit, it makes your life a lot simpler. That's great. So now I think our website is having a kind of some data there. I mean, I'm not having any about us, contact us, and help. I hope you can understand. All we are going to do here is like just include your text. So whatever information you want to put that in home, put it here. Whatever information you want to put it at inside the help, you can put it there, and so on and so forth. So you decide what the information you want to put here. But I think my basic website template is kind of done. Looks fantastic. Oh, I was saying like we have to add a logout button, because unless there is a logout, how the other user can log in. So to do this, I'm coming back to the master.html, because everything has to be done in master. So we'll have to come back here and say there is a logout. So logout, all we have to do here is like just go back and ask user to sign in back. So sign in, that's it. I mean, in the real life, we will have to call a method on the server. We'll have to or we'll have to remove everything from cache, and then we'll have to do it here. But right now we are not implementing anything like a session, so it's okay. Right now, if I say refresh, there is a logout, and if I click on logout, it goes back to the sign in. So again, the same story. If I don't have any user, I can click on sign up. If I have the user, I can click on sign in, and I can log in with my user. Let's say user1 at test.com, password is test. If I say sign in, I'll say that, yeah, look at this. It shows the user1 sign in there. Very, very, very nice. Things are looking great. So probably what I'm thinking here is, now we are having all of these things here, like, oh, sorry, my bad. Say user1 at test.com, test, sign in. So things are looking okay here. So probably we'll have to, where is the chat? There is nothing called as chat. I forgot to include that there. Not a big deal. I'm going to add it here. See, that's a benefit here. See, you just have to add it only once, and it will appear in all the different pages out there. So this is the chat. Yeah, there is a chat, about us, contact us, help, and logout. That's fine. So now the things are working fine. I'm thinking about to add a chat implementation here. Should I do it now, or should I do it later after we deploy the application? That's the question. Let's do this first, because chat might take some time. Maybe it's better we can first complete this entire path. We started from scratch, and I told you, like, I want to show you how to deploy this application on the server side. So let's do this first, and then we'll come back. Even if we cannot finish this chat today, it's okay. We can see that tomorrow. But I don't want to break the link in between. Anyways, chat has nothing to do, chat has nothing to do with the actual website, or it's not having an actual website relationship here. Chat is something which we wanted to learn the matplotlib all about. So it's okay. Let's do it in a second phase. First, whatever stage we are having right now, we want to put this on our final URL. Oh yeah, Rohit, I was saying about that URL. Exactly. I forgot to say that. I mean, I just went with something else and I forgot to mention this. So this is the server URL I was creating here. So if and when I need that URL to pass into the different pages, I can definitely show that user information there. So sometimes it is required. Sometimes you want to get the input from Python and you want to show that inside the HTML pages. So maybe this is the server URL. If you need somewhere in HTML, you can pass it as it is. Maybe I'll show you a better example than this. Where are we? Here it is. Master.html. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to come back here. This is the ULLI. That's fine. I'm going to create a new div here, and I'll say div. I'll say float right and say welcome. So just a simple page here. Just a simple text here. Welcome. So what I want to say here is welcome, and whoever is logged in, that logged in user's name. So probably I want to say welcome, and I want to say something like a user1. But what happens here is, even if user2 logs in, you will still see a welcome user1, which is not good. I mean, here I want to dynamically set whoever is logged in. So how do I do that? So Rohit, see, this is what I was talking about. So instead of passing the username hard coded user1, it makes a lot of sense to send it dynamically. See here, whenever we are having a kind of a sign in functionality where we were thinking about to get the username and password, or maybe email and password, and check whether the user exists. If length of result is equals to 0, that simply means user does not exist. Fine, okay. But if user exists, then I want to get the user's name. So how do I get it? To get that user's name, probably I can say this is going to be the first name I'm going to need. So first name and the last name. I just need only first name and last name. I don't care about the IDs and other stuff, but I do need that first name and last name. So how do I get this data then? To get this data, probably right here, maybe for some time, because I don't want to enter this data again and again, it's better we can simply say signin.html so that we can stay on that page and we can see what is currently going on. So probably I'll say print, this is the result. And then we can see how the result will help us to decide how to pass the data from user. Let's log out. Let's say user1@test.com, password is test. If I say sign in, don't worry about this. I hard-codedly sending it to the test one here. So what you see here, the 0th parameter is nothing but the user's first name, and the second parameter here is nothing but user's last name. So probably result is a list of tuples, meaning we'll have to go back here and say, hey, I want to get the user's details by going through the first part of it. For your information, result is a list of tuples. There is only one tuple. That's the reason why I'm getting that user, first tuple here. I'm saying that it's user_info. That's how we are going to do it. Now out of this, if I want to get the user's name, how do I get the user's name? So I'll have to say users info and user_info 0. That's the first name plus a space in between. And then we can say user info of 1. So this is going to be the user's name. So I'll say create, or maybe fine, create username dynamically. So this is how we are going to do that user's name concatenation. And what I'm saying here is, when you are going for the home.html, you go anywhere you want to go to, but when you are going to that page, probably I want to pass that input. So I'll say username, which is equals to name. So what I'm doing here is, while going to home.html, I'm passing the input like username is equals to name. Name is where we are getting the user's name, and I'm passing it to a parameter named username. What are we going to do with that parameter? I'll show you that in a second, but let me first print this name here and say what is the user's name. Name is equals to name. Well, whoever is logged in, we will see that user's name there. So probably I'll say user1, user or user test. So when I say sign in, still there is nothing here. It's okay, but if I look at the PyCharm here, you can see the name is equals to user1, because both first name and last name for user1 is user1. That's the reason why you see user1. Now, whatever username we have added here, we are setting it here. We are sending it to the home page by using a username variable. So right inside the home.html. So if I come back here and say right inside the home.html, I will say something like welcome. I can put that in a master, or I can put it here as well. So maybe I can say h2 or h3, whatever it is. I'll say welcome. And what's the variable that we have passed here? That's a username. This is the variable that I can use inside the HTML file, and this is the variable that I've created in the Python. So I'm going to come back to home.html. I'll use this syntax, curly bracket and something like this, and use the variable I passed from there. Guess what? Guess what is the output here? So probably I'll go for the logout again. I will say user1@test.com, password is test, and if I say sign in, it says the user name. Something has gone wrong. What the hell? Let's look at this. Was it this or was it that? What is the problem? Let's come back here. Let's see where it is going wrong. Am I getting the values correctly? To a long time. Let's see. It should. It's called as string interpolation, by the way. Let's see. Flask. Or if I'll have to use, do I need to use that? Flask string interpolation. Sorry, interpolation. Is it curly or is it $curly bracket? Let's see. No, it's curly bracket. That's correct. program, that's fine. String interpretation, not Python, sorry, it's Flask string interpretation. Flask, this is not the Python, this is what the Flask is exactly. So I'm looking for the Flask, not for the Python. Python, we already have seen that, it's curly bracket. I think there we have to get something like the variable name. Okay, so it must be something like a dollar name. Let's try. So probably I'm using this one here as this one. So let's try dollar something or a dollar username. Let's check that. After a long time, I'm also doing it. So let's see. This is user one. Sorry, user one test sign in. Oh, it's still not. So that has to be the dollar name or curly bracket dollar name. Let's see. I hope that's a dollar name. After let's see. No, not that. Okay, so render. Okay, it's better. I can just search for this Flask render template and the variables or past data. That's better. Just need to see like how do we get that here. Yes, double quote, exactly. It's double curly brackets. Sorry, it's my bad. After a long time. So this is going to be not single, but the double curly brackets. Fine. Let's come back here. And this time when I say user1@test.com, password is test, that's okay. And when I say sign in, oh, sorry, user1@test.com, the password is test. And then if I say sign in, you see, welcome user1. So user1 is the name of the user, okay? So that's double curly brackets. It's not single, it's a double curly bracket. So that's how we are reading the values of parameters which are passed from Python file. So while rendering that template, we are saying, hey, read the value for username variable as the value stored inside that variable name. So that's what we are going to kind of doing it here. What's the use of it? So probably when I'm saying like home.html is getting that username, probably I can use that in the master as well. So right inside this, we can say this is the username, you know. So when I come back here, I'm sorry, when I come back and say log out, see, I'm going to come back here and say say sign in, and probably you can see now the user1. So that simply means now whoever is logged in, I'll get the user's name there. If you don't believe me, let's try that now. Let me use user2 now. I'm sorry, not user1, it's user2 now. User2's password is also test. And if I say sign in, you see it dynamically shows user2. Here also it shows user2. So whoever is logged in, I'll see that user's name there. If I say sign up and if I create a new user, let me create for mine. So Amit Kulkarni at the rate, let's say pythoncpp@gmail.com, the password is test. Let's say sign up. I'll use my email address, name, and you see, welcome Amit Kulkarni. So basically, whenever you are logging in with your account, probably you will be able to pass the input parameters while rendering the template. So this is the way we can do it. We can pass as many parameters as we need from here, and then this is the name we are using inside our HTML template or inside our master template, wherever you want to use it. Use double curly bracket, use the variable name, and you'll be able to get the value of it. So Rohit, this is what I was talking about with that URL as well. So if you want to pass URL value, just say instead of username, say URL equals to server URL. So that's what I wanted to show you. It's okay. So now it seems like the things are working fine. I want to go back and finally just fix up the things. I think there is one more thing which is left here. This is not what I want to go for. I'll go for sign up page. I'll go for sign in page. Don't want to go for the entire page. Otherwise we'll have to pass that entire URL and do the stuff there. We'll use the very simple something called as a relative URLs. So instead of passing the hard-coded URL, otherwise we'll have to pass it everywhere. So it's okay. So hopefully everything will work now. Let me just go back, use the user1, test, sign in. Things are working really fine. So if the things are working fine, it's better now we can just go back and put this application on server on our AWS EC2 instance. So you can share it with the rest of the world. Right now, you will not be able to access it anywhere because it's restricted to my machine. So how do I fix the problem then? To fix the problem, I'm going to go with my AWS account. I mentioned that yesterday. If you are interested, you have to create your own account and give it a try. So I'm going to come back here and say aws.amazon.com. I'm going to log in with my account here. So probably sign into my account. I need my MFA. So let me be ready with it. I'm going to use my account info here. It's 117,565. That's okay. So now I think yes, Rohit will talk about the chat tomorrow. Is that okay? Or if you want me, if you want to talk about the chat, then we'll have to talk about the deployment tomorrow. It's better we can look at the chat tomorrow because we are in the flow right now. Okay. So anyways, we'll put everything inside our AWS instance and we'll talk about the chat tomorrow's in the tomorrow session. Okay. Okay, this is where I am right now. I'm in the AWS console, and I'm just assuming like everything is kind of yes, everything is kind of maybe ready right now till this time. So whatever we have done so far, we already have tested that very well, and then probably my website is ready. Now I want to deploy it. To deploy it, I need to go back to the HCO instance, and I have to create one right now. So there is no instance running right now. This is a virtual machine I'm talking about. I'm assuming that you know how to use AWS or what exactly the things are there in the AWS. So we are not going to talk about anything related to cloud here. Okay. Which cloud is better, Google or AWS? I would prefer AWS because AWS is literally popular than Google, and it has a better market share than Google and than Azure. Okay. So I'm going to create a new instance here. This is going to be an Ubuntu server. So I'm going to say select this one. We'll go for t2.micro, which is free right now. So hopefully that will save some bucks. Very simple. Let's go back, configure the instance details. We are not going to change anything. We are going to keep everything as default as it is right now. Just add the storage. The storage will be 8 GB more than sufficient for us to start with. This is a kind of a web server. So maybe I'll say this is maybe a name, and I'll say that this is the web server. This is the web server where we are going to install Apache. It's not required actually. We are going to use this one here. Now, very important because my application is going to run on port number what? Say 4000, I guess. Let me see. Yeah, 4000. So it's very important for me to open that port number here. So add a rule, say custom TCP, and 4000 is the port number that we are going to implement. Yes, it is free for entire 1 year. Okay. So probably I'm going to ask anyone to visit that URL, and I'll enable it from anywhere. So go and say review and launch. Review and launch. It is going to ask me to use my key pair. I already have one here, so I'm going to use this here. AWS is not part of the course, so don't expect anything to be discussed around the AWS side. So this is something I'm assuming that you already know. And if you don't know it, it's okay. You can learn that on your own as well. It's not very big deal here. Coming back here on my console, I need to go back here. I'm going to go back to my downloads directory using a command like chmod 400. The key pair file is like mykeypair.pem. Okay. Protocol was TCP. Will it run? Yes, it will. Protocol was TCP, and it should be TCP because we are going to use a custom port. It's not the HTTP. It's not using a port number 80 there. We are using a port number 44 now. We'll see how it can be changed to the port number 80 later. It's running. This is the IP address of that machine. So I'm going to come back here. I'll get that and say sudo, not sudo, sorry, my bad. SSH -m -i mykeypair. This is what I've configured that instance with. Ubuntu is the user, and at the rate the IP address is the one which is the public IP address there. So probably I'm going to log into my instance. Now I'm inside the instance. Let us first update the cache. Sudo apt-get update. Please do that right now. Update the cache. We can install Python. I think Python is already installed, but let's see if it is already installed or not. Okay, so hopefully it's going to do the job now. Very good. Great. So let us see whether the Python is installed. Python 3. Oh, Python 3 is already installed. Very good. So we don't have to install Python as such, but we do need to install something like not NumPy, the MySQL connector, as well as something like a Flask. So coming back here, I'll say sudo pip3 install. Pip3 install what? Pip3 install MySQL -connector -Python. So that's the first package. Let's see if it is installed. pip3 is not installed. Very good. Sudo apt-get install python 3 dash pip3. Python 3 dash pip. Sorry, it's not available. Let's say pip is available here. I hope this is available. It was till 18.04. Very good. Let's say Python, are you available? Nothing. Very good. Yes, please. So what the hell? Python 3 dash pip pip pip. Can we see that? No, it's gone. Pip, it's not available at all. Is pip available? Pip is not the command. Very good. What the hell? Have they removed it from Ubuntu's 20.0? It should not be the case. Ubuntu install pip 3. What's the new package name now? Yes, please. Yeah, python 3.pip. That's what I was using last time. Exactly. So what went wrong? I did the same thing. Exactly. Not available. It's not available, but it's referred in another program. What the hell is that? It's not available in the current version. That's what I was wondering. Let's see, 20.04. Maybe, yes, exactly. They must have already updated it. Exactly this. Python 3-pip, it's already available. That's what they are saying. Has no installation candidate. Okay. It is available in 20.04. That's fine. Add repository universe. Exactly. So that's why I need to check why is it not coming. Or if it is not coming with this way, then better we can use the other option as well. Not a big deal. Maybe we can say this one as well. Is the pip available? Pip is also not available. Very good. What the hell is that? Check this out. Seems like starting from where it's included in the base installation and Python 2 from that. That's okay. Python 3, Python 3. So it should be there. Python 3 dash, there is nothing. So stupid. It was there already. So sudo apt-get install Python 3 dash. Let's see if it is there in the list somewhere. Python 3 pip. No, it's not there. It's not there. It's not there. Very good. What the hell is that? Okay. Is anyone talking about any repository URL that I need to add? Using 20.04 Ubuntu. Yes, you are using it there, but it seems like on this AMI, they must have already they must have kind of removed it. Sudo apt-get update. Exactly. So need to add that app repository. They must have deleted it. That's a reason. Already enabled. Let's try updating the apt cache again. So let's say update one more time. Let me see quickly. Sudo vim /etc/apt/apt-conf. I'm sorry, yconf. We'll see the sources.list. Okay, that's it. Is universe there? Yeah, universe is already there. In fact, exactly. Universe is already implemented. Fine. So let us give it a try one more time. Install Python 3 dash pip. Oh yeah, pip is available. Okay, pip is available now. Okay, it wasn't available last time. It seems like universe was not enabled. Did enable it. Now it's working. That's great. Okay, so pip is installed now. That's pip 3 or pip. That's correct. Because we need to install MySQL connector, we need to install MySQL as well. Not only that. So once this is installed, probably we'll have to create a database there, and then we'll have to copy our code there. So this will start working. Okay, just give it a minute. It's installing Python's pip. It's going to take a little bit time because it's a little bit bigger one. Okay, fine. It's done. Let me use the pip3 command now. Install mysql dash connect. Sorry, mysql dash connector dash Python. Very good. And the other one is a Flask. That's it. We need only these two packages. That's it. More than sufficient for us. Right. Now we need to install up MySQL because we are using it. So apt get install MySQL. MySQL what? Which version is available? Oh, 8.0 is available. My God. Fine. MySQL server. 8 is having some problem, no, not problem, but I'll have to set the other things there as well. Just give me a sec. By the time it is loading, I'm going to come back here. I'll go to my bookmarks, and I already have used one bookmark page there to set the password. Otherwise, it won't work. MySQL password. I just need to set the privileges there. That's it. I wanted to install 5.7, but it seems like they already have moved to 5.8, so can't downgrade it now. Will you please do it now? How much time? Okay, finally done. So let's say sudo MySQL. This is the first time we are going to do it. And right inside of this, we'll have to set the password. So to set the password, we have alter user. Don't want to write that code again. So that's the reason why I'm taking a shortcut here. By root is the password. I'm setting it here. And then we'll have to flush the privileges. So flush the privileges. That's it. So that's needed so that we can say MySQL minus u root minus p. Root is the password. Very good. Show databases. Sorry, databases. There is no database named my person DB. So we'll have to create the database now. So create database named persons DB. That's the database we have used in our application. I'll say use persons DB, and we'll have to create the table there. I think the table creation is already there. We can just copy and paste it. Yes, the table is now created, Now we are kind of done with the setting up the password, setting up the database and setting up all the things required to run our application. Now, how do I transfer the code? To transfer the code, I'll have to go to that directory, code Python right here. I'm sorry, not code, my bad. This is where we are right now today. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to literally archive this file. So coming back here, I can literally archive this Python. This is the directory where I'm writing the code right now. So I'm going to say archive, that's compress. Compress means archive, and I'm going to create a zip file out of it. I can copy one by one, but it is going to take a lot of time. So that's the reason we are simply archiving this file here. And then we are going to say SCP. SCP is nothing but secure copy. -I, it's in my downloads directory. Downloads, the key which we have downloaded last time. That's my key pair, whatever it is. We want to copy this file named python.zip, to Ubuntu the IP address of that machine, which we can easily capture from here. This is the one. So copy this, paste it here, colon, tilde means it's a home directory, and slash. So I'm uploading my python.zip directory into the Ubuntu's home directory on this machine. That's it. We already are logged in into that server. If I say ls, I see that python.zip, the one which I uploaded from my machine. I want to unzip this. So unzip python python.zip. It seems like unzip is not available. Not a big deal. It's very simple. We are going to say apt-get install apt-get install unzip. That's it. Will get installed in a second. And once it is done, so probably we can say now unzip python.zip. That's it. We are done. So if I go back here, say go back to that Python directory, this is where our files are. You see, server file is there, databases file is there, and so on and so forth. So probably now I'm going to say Python 3, and we'll run that server.py. So this will run. You see, it is running on 4.0.0.0:4000, meaning now if I want to run this web page, we'll have to use the not 0.0.0, but the IP address of that machine. So probably I'll just go back here, grab this IP address and use this :4000 And guess what? You'll be able to see welcome to my application. And now if I give you this application here, or if I give you this URL here to you right now, maybe in this case, even if you are doing it on your machine, it still will work for you as well. So if I say sign in, and if I create my new account, I'll say this is my account, Amit Kulkarni. I'll say pythoncpp@gmail.com, password is test, sign up. Will take a second, I hope. Oh, is it working? Is it not working? Many people are trying to do it now. Oh, let's see. People are doing this. Working fine. Vipin, thanks for confirmation. So probably I will say sign up. I'll say this is Python test, sign in. Oh, look at that. This is my user. Try your side. It will also work for you as well. You know, that means it's a global. I see many people are trying right now. I can see the progress here. You are sending the get request. You are sending the post request. Everything is working fine. You know, on sign up, MySQL are connected error, programming error. No way. You did not install you did not install the MySQL connector, or is your database is not working fine. So database is not having the proper database, proper table structure, and that's the reason why it is not working. Okay, so give it a try. I did that in front of you right now. You see, I just tried to log in just try to sign up myself. I did that. I was able to log in as well. See the logged in account, and everything is looking fine. You know, so I can go for home, chat, about us, contact us, help, and whatever things we were looking at last time. Everything is working fine. Log out. I'm done. Okay. Sign up is not working. Nidhi, check your database. So probably you can do it here. Okay. Can we get a step-by-step document for deployment? Why do you need a document? You have the entire video with you. So Shripati, I think you can watch the video and you can do it a couple of times. You'll be able to do that. It's very simple, you know. So who needs a document if you have the entire video with you, right? That's the reason why we are recording all the sessions here. Yes, URL is showing is in the local host. Where? Not the instance IP. Where? Here, it's okay. It doesn't matter. In fact, it's okay. It's okay. If it is showing the URL, it's just because I am kind of moving it to URL somewhere. That must be the reason. But it's okay. It doesn't matter. I mean, if it is working fine for you, it should work. Okay. It's okay. It doesn't matter. So probably this is what we were thinking about, and hopefully these videos will be available for next week, till next week, from tomorrow. Okay. Please make this video available for longer time. We'll see that. I'll let you know. Let's see how many of you are interested. I see that 200 people came down to almost like 66 today. You see, that shows the interest, in fact. So that's the reason, in fact. But we'll see. We'll try it. We'll see how it can be done. Okay, we'll see it. Sure, we'll see that. Not a big deal. Anyways, it seems like it is done. I'm going to stop my server right now, and I'm going to come out of it. I'll say exit. I don't want to incur any charges, so that's the reason I'm going to right click on this and say instance terminate. Literally, I'm going to make this application and the entire web server destroy. So I don't want to keep it here, because if I keep it here, it unnecessarily burns my free hours. So instead of doing it, I'm just going to say delete this. I don't need that. So probably we are going to delete this, and that's it. This is how we can deploy the entire application onto the Python. So basically, what did we do? We created an application from scratch somewhere here. We added a few more things there. It's a complete web application. You can see, you can think of, not complete to be precise, but at least you can see it's near to complete. And probably this is how we can deploy the application onto the server. Okay, we'll talk about that. Okay, we'll talk about that. Okay. Either it will be 7 days or 15 days. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Not a problem. Are we going to learn the OS packages? OS package? There is nothing to learn there in OS package, Nidhi. There is something like you just have to use all the OS facilities, like copy the code, or maybe simply like move the files. And every single functionality is given in terms of a function. You just have to keep on calling the function there. Okay. Yes, loaded with the official work. I can understand, Utpal. Let's see. We'll figure it out. Okay. Not a big deal. Fine. I think guys, do this practice on your own first. See if it is possible for you to do it. If not, tell me. We'll see what we can do it from our side. Okay. Fine. I think it's better we can call it a day, and then we'll continue talking about the chart and image processing tomorrow. Okay. So tomorrow is the last day, I hope. And in tomorrow's case, we are going to see how to design chart and how to do a small or maybe a couple of examples for on the image processing. Okay, I'm going to share one document with you if possible, maybe right now, or if not possible by end of the day today, where you can at least go through some of the basics of image processing, so that I don't have to go from the details, or I don't have to go from the scratch. So at least you will have something ready with you. We can at least start writing the Python code. Otherwise, tomorrow's the entire session will go in talking about what do you mean by a image and how it is kind of represented behind the scene. So if you can read that on your own, I'll send a document which I already have seen the last time. Then it will be a kind of having a foundation ready. Then we can start talking about directly the image processing example. Okay, Jagrat, yes, I'll show you a thread example as well tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll just mention something here so that me and you, both of us, will not forget. Okay, so here we are. We are going to talk about a simple thread example. So this is what it is. A thread example, let's say OpenCV example, not extensive. OpenCV, we are already having another kind of course there. It's kind of weekend course we generally launch. It's 2 weekends probably, where we can learn entire things in the OpenCV. Right now, this is just an introduction to it. So this is OpenCV, a chart using Matplotlib. So this is what we are planning tomorrow. Okay, fine. Your server is being used, then why your database is required for sign up? What? I'm not getting you. If your server is being used, then why our database is required for sign up? Not getting you. What do you mean by that? One of the examples of automation with Python, web scraping. This is never ending story. Okay, web scraping, I'll talk about this. We'll see an example of it. Okay, not a big deal. See, probably Nidhi, PDF processing and all of these things are, I mean, these are never ending stories. Everyone will have its own requirement. Like, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do that. You'll have to just come up with the different packages. See, ultimately, for example, if you want to go for PDF, just search for PDF using Python. There are a ton of different packages out there. So you can use those packages, and you know how to use the packages, import them and read the documentation. Every package is different. So probably you will have to use different packages for that. So it seems like there is a PyPDF, and PyPDF package is kind of giving you all the functionalities that you're looking for. So probably you will have to read this package, because every package is going to have its own documentation and call the functionalities there. It is literally speaking, this is never ending story, because everyone will have its own requirement. Like, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need to do this, I need to do this, and blah, 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 blah. So probably it is not possible to cover every single aspect of it. That's the reason I'm saying it. Okay. So if you know the package name, you can read the package documentation and you can do this there. Okay. Fine. I included one example of web scraping using Selenium. Not a big deal. I'll show you that example tomorrow. Selenium. Okay. Web scraping using Selenium. Yes. Priyanka, if possible, not guaranteeing you, but if possible, I'll talk about the PVM architecture as well. Mostly, I gave you introduction of PVM last time, which was kind of, if you can recall last time. So probably I talked about that PVM. Tomorrow, if possible, I'll talk about the PVM architecture. Otherwise, I'll pass a simple one example there. NLTK is in syllabus. Adesh, okay, you're talking about the syllabus now, fine. Okay. There are a few more things which we already have seen, which were not in the syllabus, by the way, but it's okay. If you are saying that, fine, then let's do this. Let's have one more session day after tomorrow, Saturday, and then we'll put that NLTK example there, okay? Okay, so we'll do one thing. Let us finish these 3 things tomorrow, and let us finish as much as we can tomorrow. What are the topics remaining? We'll see that on the Saturday's case. Okay, Saturday 8 to 10, we'll have one more extra session, and then we'll finish up the story. Okay, Adesh, that's how we are going to see that one there. Fine, it's okay. Okay, fine. No, it's okay. That's fine. We'll talk about it. It's not the problem of talking from my side. It's the problem of the time. And unfortunately, you know what? I already have seen many people already have left. So there are hardly few people left. I mean, hardly few people left right now. So, anyways, it's okay. We can have one more session on Saturday, and we can finish it off later on the Saturday's case. Okay. Yes, there are a few things which I will share later in the next couple of weeks. So probably. Yes. Shripati, personally, I don't use SQL Server, but I will check that and I'll let you know the code from where you can either download or you can use it there. Okay, we'll send it. Not a big deal. Fine. Let's call it a day now. I have the other session planned up, so maybe we'll talk about the remaining stuff tomorrow, and after tomorrow also we'll talk the remaining. We'll talk about the remaining stuff, remaining packages out there. Okay. So again, thank you very much for attending today's session. I hope this must have given you a kind of an idea about how to start developing a web application and how to put that on a server. So probably that's fine. We'll see the remaining part in the next session. Okay, so I'll see you tomorrow exactly at 8 o'clock. By the way, do this practice on your own today so that you will get an idea. I'll send one more document so that you can see the basics of OpenCV. So at least you will get some idea behind the image and other things, and then we can continue from that tomorrow. Thank you very much one more time. I'll see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock. By the time, have a very great day ahead and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.